It was only in August that 19-year-old Mohammed Hassan Chowdhury stole a plane from Markham, Ontario, flew it before crash landing in Peterborough, and still Canadians 2 months later don't have answers as to why he did it or what the goal was, if any, or where he was going. We filed an access to information request with the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, which oversees the initial investigations of vehicular crashes of this nature, to try to get to the bottom of it, and well, let me give you a heads up, it didn't go well. First off, we had tried to find out what it was that they actually found in this, apart from saying it was a national security incident and then saying maybe it wasn't a national security incident. The RCMP, which took over the investigation on this, has not actually been that forthright with information, saying that, well, the investigation is ongoing and, well, there's no public safety concern, so they can take their sweet time with it. But what we got is access to an investigative report that was done by the TSB, by investigator Peter Machete, who wrote about what had been done in the early days of the investigation. One section jumped out. The aircraft was equipped with a Bendix King KLN 90B TSO GPS. However, the position of the on-off switch could not be determined. The radios and GPS were left with the wreckage. We did not attempt to download data from the GPS or any devices. The next paragraph is redacted, but it says quite clearly that the device had not been subject to download of data. Now, I reached out to the TSB's Media Relations Office to figure out what was actually being said there, and the response that I got explained that, well, maybe that changed afterwards. The factual report which you are quoting was written in the early stages of the investigation, detailing work already completed by the TSB. At the time this document was written, an attempt to download the GPS data or data from other devices had not yet occurred. This has since changed. He said if I wanted further information about it, I would have to contact the RCMP. When I followed up and said, okay, well, what was found and when was the data retrieved? So I did reach out to the RCMP. I sent them those very questions. I had also sent them the question of why the RCMP was leading the investigation in this particular case. And the response that I got when I asked some very specific questions, including the GPS data retrieval, was a press release from August 19th in which the RCMP said there was no national security component. They didn't answer the question. They just attached a press release that they sent out 2 months ago. I followed up and I asked again about the GPS data retrieval, and I received no response in the following 36 hours. So this speaks, I think, to a little bit of a challenge here in that the RCMP is not being forthright with information about an incident that still had the potential to be a lot worse. And when we look in some of the emails exchanged among TSB employees, it stands to reason that they may have been a little bit concerned with the RCMP's inability to do this. One email from Peter Machete to one of his colleagues, as a matter of fact, says this: Transport Canada has also been helping because the RCMP is not familiar with this kind of an event. Now, Peter Machete is a regional senior investigator with TSB, so he's been trying to figure out from a logistical perspective what happened, how did the plane crash, and what information could have been contained on that. So now the spokesperson for TSB says that the data retrieval was taken from the GPS, which would tell us where the plane was going, but until we get that information, who knows what it said. All I can tell you is that several pages of the TSB report were redacted, and the RCMP has not been forthcoming with information here, and we still don't know what it was that told them this may have been a national security event in the first place. For the Rebel.media, I'm Andrew Lawton. Hey, if you like what you see here, make sure to check out more great Fearless content at the Rebel.media and truly become a premium member. You'll find stuff there you will not see anywhere else in the country, including, of course, yours truly on the Rebel.media.